Hi folks, this is an interesting little knife. It does fit into the UK legal carry that puts things on my channel as a matter of course. Now this is, at first glance you'd think it's probably some sort of American case or Camillus or whatever it is now. But this one actually is made in Italy by Maserin. I do have a couple of other Maserin knives, but I don't have any of them handy. But it compares, of course, nicely with, say, the case Trapper. It would really compare well with the case Slimline Trapper, but I don't actually have one. This is the Mini Trapper, and this is a case Standard Trapper, and you'll see that the Maserin one is probably very slightly shorter than the case full-size Trapper, but it's slightly thinner than slightly thinner than the Mini. Certainly not thicker. Now, what does it have? It has a single blade. Oh, before I get to the blade, let's deal with the outside. So we've got a bolster, we've got a cap. Obviously it's a single spring. It has brass liners. The fit and finish is okay. There certainly is nothing wildly to complain about. What looks like could be a gap there between the bone and the liner is actually just the fact that the bone is kind of goes brown, white, brown. Now that's something to do with the dyeing and the hafting. It's been rubbed smooth, but they've effectively rubbed all the way through the brown, brought it down to the bone. Now that happens with case knives all the time. They usually end up with this sort of white on the back. Let me think. The blue one is a bit different. The blue one, the blue dye seems to go pretty much all the way through, or slightly towards the bottom of that. On the right hand side there, it's turning more white, but that's all that's happened there. So I say when I thought, oh, there's a gap and a half, but it isn't actually a gap. It's just so it's pretty well done. It's pretty well hafted. It's quite nice in that respect. It is bone, dyed bone, jigged bone, and the jigging is it's actually quite nice. I quite like it. It does have that irregular pattern about it. It's nicely done. So it has a nice kind of hand feel. It does feel slim and long in the hand, and the reason that it feels slim and long in the hand is because it is slim and long in the hand. One thing I do quite like about this knife is the fact that it is right towards the legal limit, but the right side of the legal limit. Oh, of course I forgot to show you I think it's a ram's horn shield. I'm quite into shields. I quite like shields on the handles, unless they're on Barlows, and then it just seems wrong. So in terms of size, we're talking about say the blade is 3 inches. If you count it from the bolster, it's 3 inches, maybe in a very small amount, but the cutting edge is certainly 2 3/4 at most. So it's, I think, perfectly legal, and we're talking about 7 inches overall. So it's a good, nice UK legal EDC size knife. When you want to chop an apple or something with this, it's just the right size. It goes right the way through your apple. You don't end up not going through it or getting trying to push the ricasso through the skin or whatever. It's just a nice knife. It's got a sort of slight hollow ground blade, clip point blade, and I like it. And I think it was about 40 something quid. So compared to a case, it's actually quite cheap. I would say the build quality compared to a case is pretty similar. Probably better than a Rough Rider, but no, I think Rough Riders are pretty good actually. But this is probably better than a Rough Rider. It's 440C steel, so it's better steel than a Rough Rider, but it's maybe say twice the price of the Rough Rider, 2/3 of the price of a case. So it probably fits in a pretty good position. I mean, there's nothing to choose between this and a case, to be honest, other than the name. Well, this is Maserin, that's made in what's it called? Name of places just left my head, but it's made in Italy anyway. Famous Italian knife making place, and oh dear. Anyway, brain's gone. But anyway, so it's it's traditional pinned design, nickel silver and stainless steel. Now I quite like stainless steel. I know lots of people like CV steel or carbon steel or whatever, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I don't really like the patina on the blade. I like to try and keep things shiny. This is relatively shiny. It's a sort of semi-satin finish, which is quite good because it doesn't show fingerprints quite so much. And obviously, European knife, it's bound to be Monaco, Italy. Of course, that's what I was trying to think, and I couldn't think. CK stainless steel. I think there's anything on the other side. So not really much more to say about it. It's a really nice knife. I like it. I'd certainly, I mean, if somebody wants a traditional knife and you simply want a single blade traditional knife to stick in your pocket and use for cutting up food and stuff like that, it's perfect. It'd make a great steak knife as well, because it's knife shaped. I know it sounds stupid. It really does sound stupid when I say it, but it does. It's knife shaped. You could cut your steak up without any problem. But since I've been disabled, if I have to hold a cooking and eating knife, I have to do this off screen or I'll take my fingers off. I have to hold it like this. I always used to criticise people that do that, but it's only because there's an action I can do, which is basically that. So if I'm holding my food with my fork, I can cut it like that. This would make a good, not tried it, but it would make a great steak knife for me. So, there we go. Maserin, Slipjoint. Bought it from Heine Haynes. They're available for, I think it's about high 40s, might be 50 quid, but it's thereabouts. And it's a really lovely knife and worth checking out if you're thinking about maybe buying a case and you're worried about fit and finish, or you want to just save a few pound and you don't want to go as far down as a Rough Rider. This is a great middle ground knife. So thank you very much. If you like this, if you like any of the stuff that I do, see a doctor. However, if you get past that and you decide you actually do want more of this, then feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I try to answer all the comments that I get. I don't get that many, but I try to answer those that I get. And if you've got any questions or anything specific you'd like to know, I am more than happy to do my best. I do occasionally make the odd video for people just because they want to know how does this compare to that, and I think, oh well, I've got them, I'll compare them. So okay, if you like, say subscribe, ring the bell, whatever you need to do, and we'll see you next time. Bye.